Star Wars Rogue Squadron is back. Sort of. At least a spiritual successor to it, it seems. Star Wars Squadrons. And you know, the magic of Star Wars video games is that you can have 4 or 5 different games in front of you, and each one is a totally different experience. You could be exploring the criminal underworld as a bounty hunter in games like Star Wars Bounty Hunter. You could be a superpowered Jedi like in The Force Unleashed, a first-person shooter like Republic Commando, full-scale war simulator like Battlefront. Star Wars games come in all shapes and sizes. The ones where you suit up, jump into a starfighter, fly into space and blow up other starfighters are my favorite kinds. And that's the kind of game that Squadron is. It's filling that need, and I must be getting old, because after the announcement trailer premiered, everyone on social media is getting nostalgic about remembering Rogue Squadron on the GameCube. And while yes, that was an amazing game and one of my all-time favorite GameCube games, and come to think of it, Star Wars games of all time. But I remember playing this baby right here. This is the original Rogue Squadron on Nintendo 64. This is old school. Actually, if you want to get more old school, they have the X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter games, but I didn't play PC games at the time. This was my jam. And I'd also like to mention this little gem right here. Star Wars Episode 1 Battles for Naboo. Nobody ever talks about this game. It was basically the Rogue Squadron of Episode 1. It was nowhere near as good, but it was alright. I feel like it's being forgotten, so yes, this also exists. Episode 1 Battle for Naboo. Please HD remaster both of these. We did get our first look at Star Wars Squadrons with the premiere trailer, which didn't show any gameplay. Of course, it was all CG in-engine footage, which typically means you're not going to see any of that in the game. So we're going to go ahead and take a deep dive into the details that we do know so far for the game. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor, my Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel and allow me to continue creating videos like this for the entire galaxy, you could become a patron for as little as 1 galactic credit a month. Links in the description below, or you could head on over to patreon.com/GamerThumbTV. I'd also like to thank my current patrons and channel members for their continued support. Thank you guys. To start off, I know EA tends to get a ton of hate from the gaming community, rightfully so in many cases, but let's give credit where credit's due. I feel like they've been handling the Star Wars license much better lately than when they first started. Battlefront 2 at this point in time is actually a great game that I play regularly. Fallen Order to me is pure gold. I love that game. And there's some very good piece of information we do know about Squadrons already. The game will focus completely on starfighter battles with plenty of cosmetic and customization items for your ships, like new weapons, hulls, engines, and shields as you rank up, and I know immediately people's thoughts are, oh no, microtransactions. Not this time. Everything's earned in-game. There are no microtransactions. Fallen Order didn't have any microtransactions either, and it's a major step in the right direction, so you actually earn everything just by playing the game. Looks like it's going to be very multiplayer focused, and has different game modes that pit strategic teams of 5 vs 5 against each other, controlling both New Republic and Imperial ships. Notice I said New Republic and not Rebel ships, which I'll get to. As of now, we know of 2 game modes, with likely more being included. There's Fleet Battles mode, that has the end goal of taking out the other team's flagship, and there's Dogfight mode that forces players to work together and take down as many ships as possible. It's also been confirmed that it's going to be cross-play compatible, so it doesn't matter what console you buy it for, PS4, Xbox One, PC, you can play with your friends across all platforms. While the multiplayer aspect is cool, I really want to know about the single player, and yes, there is a campaign. Though I am cautiously optimistic about this. Battlefront 2 had a campaign, and I felt it was very forgettable. I remember it being advertised as this epic story from the point of view of the Empire, like you've never seen before. But really, that was just the first couple of missions, and then you just join the rebellion. And the character you were following takes a backseat to a bunch of other different rebel characters. That campaign was more of just the greatest hits of Star Wars. The story in Squadrons takes place just after Return of the Jedi, when the New Republic is just starting out, and the Empire's quickly collapsing. I love that they chose this little in-between era, because we've seen the classic trilogy a billion times at this point. Yes, it's amazing, yes, it's beloved among fans, but I do like exploring those other time frames in the universe. And also, that means we don't have to worry about all the new Disney trilogy First Order stuff, which I honestly find to be a more boring version of the Empire vs. Rebels. Just after Return of the Jedi is this era that's still semi-unexplored in general, but familiar all at the same time. And the story will be told from 2 different points of view, either from the New Republic side as a pilot for Vanguard Squadron, or from the Imperial tutorial side as part of Titan Squadron. And I know some people don't care about this, but what I'm most excited about is playing this game in VR. I've been wanting a full VR game like this since VR started on home consoles. And it's not just a small segment that's going to be called a VR experience either, like with what Battlefront did. The game's fully playable in VR on both PlayStation VR and PC. Although with PC they still haven't really confirmed specific VR platforms yet. Like I said before, there was no real gameplay in the trailer, but that's okay, it was just a teaser. Actual gameplay is expected to be shown this Thursday, June 18th, during EA Play 2020, which I'm going to try and stream, so make sure you join me for that. The game's already up for pre-order with a release date of October 20th, and it's up for the great price of $39.99 instead of the usual $59.99. I'm cautiously pumped for this game. Everything I'm hearing so far is good news, but with the inclusion of VR and some awesome multiplayer modes, I'm sold. Leave me your thoughts down below. Did the announcement pique your interest in the game? And what are your overall impressions? I'll catch you guys later. Since you made it to the end of this video, I assume you enjoyed it, so why don't you go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, links in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can join my Patreon or become a channel member. This is Fabian, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.